And again, he's one of those guys, as we talked about, that, look, he's not just a first and second down back. He's a guy that they feel like they can do some things with out of the backfield. So excited to see him back here on the sideline in Corvallis.
Johnson with nowhere to go. Yeah, that's another thing this Oregon State coaching staff has kind of praised about this running back group. Not just Jam Griffin, but also Anthony Hankerson. I mean, they're both 3-down backs, which they definitely want in this offense.
Yeah, and they're not fun to tackle, by the way. Look, everybody wants to talk about, how big is he? Listen, when you're playing running back, we don't care about how tall you are. These guys are 200-something pounds, but they're putting these little 5'8", 5'9", 5'10" packages, man. They are not fun to try to bring down, man. It's like trying to tackle a bowling ball with legs.
Well, what was the comparison I heard a couple weeks ago? More like Jaquiz Rogers. He was short, not small, but fluid in the way he moves.
Yeah, listen, there's a lot of things that I'm going to do that we can have a lot of fun with. I don't want to put that on any kid trying to compare him to Jaquiz Rogers now. That guy was a different cat. And he said, all these guys here, not just Keith Hayward, but you think about the fact that, Keith Hayward played here, Trent Bray played here, Kyle DeVan played here, Ryan Gunderson played here. Guys who they said they feel like they, especially, listen, given the uncertainty of what's kind of happening here, they have a responsibility, and they feel that responsibility to this program to keep things going in the direction that it's been.
Yeah, like you mentioned, the amount of former players now on this coaching staff, Trent Bray and Ryan Gunderson, and that's something else that we asked the head coach a couple days ago in our conversation with him. And we asked, when you're talking to these players with everything going on to recruits, do you kind of bring out that underdog mentality and try to emphasize just how special it is to be playing in the orange and black in Reser Stadium? And he said the team has definitely felt it. They know when someone is really genuine, and they want to continue again with that tradition of being a top 25 program the last couple of seasons, as Jam Griffin with a big run for Team Black.
And obviously that's some of the things that they want to see. And look, ultimately, I've sat and I can't even tell you how many living rooms trying to tell the story of, hey, if you come to such and such school when I was coaching here at Oregon State, hey, if you come to Oregon State, this is, the things that we can do for you. Here's what your experience will be like. It's a whole different animal when the person who's sitting in the living room can tell you that story from experience. I can tell you what it's like to leave Southern California and come play here at Oregon State. I can tell you what it's like to leave Portland, Oregon, when you're the guy coming from Central Catholic and you're a 4 or 5-star recruit. I can tell you what that's like and all those things. And that's what this staff will be able to do when they sit in those living rooms and not just try to weave a story for a family and a young man. Hey, this is what we think your experience will be like. We know what that experience will be like for you because we did it ourselves.
Well, it also goes to how much these coaches obviously love Oregon State. They love their time in the orange and black. I mean, offensive line coach Kyle DeVan even said he had his wedding reception here at Reser Stadium. So that just shows you the love that they have for Corvallis as well as this program. And tripped up at the 40-yard line once again, going to Jam Griffin.
Yeah, I want to know what that bill was. Did he have to make installments for that? Did I? I'm gonna have to. You know what? That's it. I'm gonna track this story down with Kyle here at some point. They're kind of giving you a steady diet of what they want to do without showing all the cards of the teams that they're going to be playing early on in the fall.
Gabarri Johnson, he's got wheels. We've seen that as he'll get to the 41-yard line. And again, like we mentioned before, the transfer out of Missouri. Boy, a tremendous talent out of the state of Washington. Was the Washington All-State Offensive Player of the Year. Didn't play last season with the Tigers, of course, when Missouri made that run to the Cotton Bowl. But, he kind of said that he kind of felt undervalued a little bit out at Como. But now he's here in Corvallis looking to make a big name for himself in the orange and black.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that talk about has big arm talent. And so, as Coach Gunderson said, listen, man, you can't just be okay at everything. And he actually might be above average at a lot of things, not just the big arm talent, but obviously, as you saw the athleticism there. And part of it is just learning the system, knowing where to go with the football as quickly as you can. And I think, the other group that's probably been maybe the most impressive group of this entire spring has actually been the offensive line. You talk about a group of guys who've lost almost everybody. I mean, short of Josh Gray, every single guy who got real substantial reps is gone. And yet, that is the group led by Kyle DeVan, who Coach Bray and Coach Gunderson both brought up and said they might have had the best spring of any group, any position group on the team this fall. So, or excuse me, this spring. So this fall, I think they're going to bring a level of excitement and physicality that I think Beaver fans have become accustomed to.
Well, that just shows how much they lost offensively because, like you mentioned, Josh Gray, I mean, he's basically the most experienced returner in terms of starts on offense this season coming here into 2024. But like you mentioned, that offensive line, they got Van Wells, another transfer out of Colorado. Grant Stark is a guy who Trent Bray said earlier this week in our conversation with him, really athletic, has improved the most. It's going to be a new offensive scheme here for Oregon State with this new coaching staff and Ryan Gunderson taking over. He kind of said he wants movement in his QB. We're going to see more tempo, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go up tempo every single play. They're going to change it up a little bit, but a little different scheme that you're going to see this year as opposed to under Jonathan Smith.
Yeah, you know, my favorite thing that Ryan said this week, he said, listen, ultimately, we want guys who make good decisions, can get the ball out of their hand, make good plays great, and make bad plays not as bad. Because every now and again, the defense is going to make a great call on things. So right now, we are the hottest ticket in the Willamette Valley is here in Corvallis. So you better get your season tickets here ASAP if you want to have any chance to see in this show.
Well said, Nigel. You get it. We're going to hire you as a spokesperson, but true. And I love the rally cry that's happening with Beaver Nation, and hang in there for us because we're going to get where we need to be.
I'm gonna be honest, my commission is not that high either. I can be persuaded at a pretty low. I'm here for, if I get a Gatorade bottle and a pair of shorts, that's pretty much all I need.
You're easy.
I have never heard that before, but anyway. Well, hey, thank you so much for the time, Scott, and It's great to see you.
Yeah, go Beavs. Thank you. Okay, buddy. Appreciate
Absolutely.
You. All right.
Absolutely.
Cram that in there.
It looks like we're getting ready to get the second half started here, Ben, and lots of excitement from the fans on down here to the field.
Well, first of all, congratulations on your new job inside Oregon State Athletics. I'm happy to be the first one to congratulate you on that. But, you know, on a serious note, look, we all know that it's a tumultuous time right now for Oregon State. And Trent Bray hasn't hid from it whatsoever. We highlighted at the top of the show saying, look, real leaders basically go and they lead when times are hard. And it definitely is right now at Oregon State. But you can feel it with Beaver Faithful, the Beaver Nation, just how much they are backing this program. They're backing Oregon State Athletics because, you know, they want to put their stamp on things. There's no question about it. There's a sense of how special Corvallis is, how special this football program is. Trent Bray wants to keep it at a top 25 level. And you can, like I said, you can feel the excitement and you can feel the passion that Beaver fans have right now for this program.
Yeah, I know. You know what's funny is I hear the things about tough times. When I'm here, you have no clue. There's none of that feeling here. The feeling here is this is going to be business as usual. We're going to continue to win as usual. We're going to continue to put it on people as usual. This is not – there's nothing tough about this. The only thing that's tough is if you got to come here and play us. And so that's the feeling around this place. There is absolutely nothing from the – whether you're talking about the players, the coaches, the staff, the fan base, the student body – that is feeling anything other than excitement and anticipation of this season coming up. And again, you're feeling it not just from people's words, but their actions and buying tickets and the crowd that we've seen here. I mean, I can't tell you the last time I saw people in the upper decks at a spring game. Couldn't find parking. So I mean, it's a thing right now. Oh, as we get a big play from the defense.
Yeah, an interception, the first one we've seen today from the defense, from the black team getting the pick.
What Coach Bray has inherited and feels the responsibility to continue is great here because they have won and they have no interest in doing anything less than that.
Sanders flushed out on play action, just scoots out of bounds. And I want to bring up Mike Riley again really quickly because that's something else that Trent Bray kind of told us earlier this week in our conversation with him. You know, you heard the former Oregon State head coach say he's been around practice, and Trent Bray has talked with him. He's talked with Brent Brennan quite a bit. He's talked even with Pat Casey, of course, the famous baseball coach right here at Corvallis, of just getting more tips of becoming a head coach and leading a program.
Yeah, there's no shortage of mentors. I mean, again, I remember when I was here, Coach Erickson still had a house here. And, you know, when you can pick up the phone and you can call Dennis Erickson, Mike Riley, Pat Casey, I mean, you're talking about 3 or 4 guys who are either in the Hall of Fame or will be in the Hall of Fame. You know, it's quite the Rolodex that he has. And so he has guys he can lean on. In addition to Brent Brennan, who's down, a good friend of his who's the head coach now at the University of Arizona, that he can lean on for advice and things. But ultimately, man, you got to just go with your gut. You know, having been there, made the transition from defensive coordinator to head coach, you kind of just have to go with what you feel like. You can't pretend to be anybody else. He can't be Jonathan Smith or Mike Riley or Dennis Erickson. He's going to have to just be himself and make decisions based on what he wants to do.